Number 8, Yuan Webster. Number 10, Yazid Matthews. Number 11, Gary Ogilvy. Number 14, Will S.K. Number 19, Jake Roos. Number 27, Steven Turnbull. Number 44, Marlon De Freitas. Number 55, Jordan Montoya. And in goal, Ian McRae. Head coach and sporting director for AFC Ann Arbor is Eric Rutland. Fans, please welcome to the field Melissa Buzzano, performing today's national anthem. Melissa is the voice coach and lead singer of Sweet Melissa. At this time, we ask those that can please rise. And gentlemen, please move your cast as she performs our national anthem.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly strewn, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That's my best. That's what they've been playing. So that'll be my best guess for it.
Good afternoon and almost the evening, and welcome to Cardinal Stadium on the campus of Concordia University Ann Arbor for another edition of AFC Ann Arbor Men's Soccer. Today, the Mighty Oak will host Toledo Villa FC in the regular season finale for both clubs. The stakes are high and the playoff scenarios are simple. For Ann Arbor, win and you're in. Anything less than that and you'll be spending Saturday scoreboard watching. I'm Josh Hackle alongside Brian McCooch, and thanks for joining us on a beautiful day in Ann Arbor here. Not a cloud in the sky. It's beautiful. And as always, our live broadcasts are brought to you all season long by St. Joseph Mercy Health System, the official wellness partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Last weekend, it couldn't have been any bigger. Two rivals, huge crowd, winner take all. Ann Arbor, the two-time defending division champions, against Detroit City, the five-time, I don't know, whatever they're up to, attendance champions. And Detroit City came out on top, 3-1. Sean Larson with a hat trick. Will S.K. scored a late goal. So Detroit won the first division title since 2013, but there's one playoff spot left, and whoever finishes in second place gets it. And entering today, Ann Arbor is in second place, 1 point ahead of Grand Rapids FC. So Ryan, it's pretty simple. Win today and you're in. If they draw today, they need Grand Rapids not to win their season finale home game against the Michigan Stars tomorrow. But we're the only ones thinking about scenarios. The players on the field, they're just thinking about wins.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. It is indeed that simple. Winning, you're in for sure. And if you're a player out there in the lovely sky blue pits, then you just want to win, and you don't have to worry about anything Saturday, but sitting back, watching the games, and maybe enjoying some sun.
Mighty Oak entered today's game with an 8-2-3 record. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. For Toledo Villa, like many expansion teams, they're a third-year team, early in their infancy as a soccer club. They've struggled this season with a 2-10-1 record. They started the season on a 9-game winless streak. Started to figure things out. They got some players back that they were hoping to start the season with. They had won 2 of their last 3, but then dropped their last game on the road to Kalamazoo, and there's a shot right out of the gate here in the opening minute. Ann Arbor wearing their blues, Toledo in the reds.
So some good anticipation there from Andre Schalbach, who's getting the start in midfield today. I thought when he came onto the pitch against Detroit, he was an impact sub for sure. He's able to get forward well, he can score, and in midfield, he's also just a durable presence in general. You want a guy that can hold his own in the midfield, and Andres is able to do so. That's another nice interception there from our line.
So Ann Arbor on the near side. DeFreitas goes down the wing, looking for Eske, who had a really good game against Detroit City. Scored the late goal, but even aside from that, just had a good game playing centrally, and they moved him out to the wing as they were trying to push forward for an equalizer that didn't come, but definitely made a good effort of it late. Made things interesting in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game. Into the starting lineups here momentarily as we always an adventure here on game day at Cardinal Stadium. Headed back in at midfield, headed forward as it's going to be an uphill climb for Toledo today. They have just 11 players, and I mean just 11 players. They added a late player, and they have enough to play the game, play with a full squad, but no subs on the bench for them. So how do you think that changes things for AFC Ann Arbor? Because it's no secret now. They've got players that you look on the bench, and there's nobody on the bench.
Exactly. I think with AFC, the subs in particular, they're going to be able to be looking at this Toledo side, and if you've got, say, an Alex Alexis who can come on with speed for 20 minutes at the end of the game, that's big for him. Eske takes that shot, and it's held well by press. But it's definitely a boost for AFC, I think. And for Toledo, you have to know when to exert your energy, when to hold, when to stay calm. And it's big all around. It's big for both sides.
Long ball sent up down to the right wing for Luke Carilli. He was the late addition to the team, number 10. We get a foul on the near side. So their lineup looks like this. Jacob Kress from Heidelberg University will be in goal for them. They have defenders out there at Hunter Gibbons, Tyler Green, Aaron West, who plays at the University of Cincinnati, Aaron McCready, and Cale Nichols from Bowling Green State University. You know, the Bowling Green, some people say the whole name, BGSU obviously, but then some people just leave out the state sometimes. I never know which one to need to talk to more.
Seems interchangeable there.
Detroit Mercy, but Drew Metz is in midfield, Sammy Conte, and up top we will have some more attacking players. So Luke Carilli, as I mentioned, Austin Combs, and Amundi Aima, who is their key goal scorer, and there we go. Microphone malfunction there. We're back, and so Amundi Aima, and talking to some of the Toledo folks here, number 9 out there. Is a player that they wish they had for the full season. Took a while. He's from Ghana, and it took a while to get clearance. So he didn't show up until about midway. He wasn't able to play until about 4 or 5 games left in the season. So they feel like the season would have been a little different. A few more wins. They would have had a speedy striker like that up top. There's Matthews trying to play it through the 2 defenders, fighting for the ball, and he will foul that defender. That's number 4, Aaron West.
That was a fantastic lofted ball there from DeFreitas and to Matthews. It almost seemed too good to be true for Matthews there. He continued his run there, and when you're trying to get on the same page and a ball like that takes such precision, it's always tough to time those runs properly.
Roof through the middle, now out wide to Montoya, out on the left wing. Goes for goal, and hit it off the bar. Was that on the outside of it?
I believe it was off the post because it's an AFC throw. I thought the referee motioned for, but it's not the case.
Toledo puts it back in play. It's ended up looking for Aima. Taken away. It's Ogilvie through the middle. Nice through ball. Looking for Matthews, but coming off his line is Jacob Press. Starting lineup for the home team, AFC Ann Arbor. Ian McGrain making another start in goal. Stephen Turnbull at right back. Marlon DeFreitas at left back. Juan Webster in the middle with Matt Brame. In the midfield, Jake Roof, Gary Ogilvie, and Andres Schalbert. And his brother Sebastian, they miss him as well. He's out training with a pro team. They could have him back for the playoffs, so that would be a big boost if they were able to get into the postseason. Will Eske out on the right side up top with Jordan Montoya and then Yazid Matthews, who we've seen a lot of early in the middle. And there's a ball, tried to play it through to Matthews, cut out, and that'll be a corner kick.
That's a dangerous crossing there from Stephen Turnbull, who just today was named to the Great Lakes Conference 11, along with the aforementioned Sebastian Schalbad. High honors for both of the players. Both were more than deserving. And Eric Rudland was also the conference best coach as well.
Which is nice to see. Usually it's just kind of by default the team that wins the conference. But there is a headed ball out and cleared. That's Sammy Conte trying to get it out, taken away, and right back and over the bar was Montoya. Yeah, it was nice to see Eric Rudland get honored for in the Conference 11.
I think he's been snubbed a couple of years now, as I'm talking to some of the staff up here with the club, and this season is definitely a proud moment for him, I'm sure, and for the club as well. It's almost like a stamp of justification for the job well done that he's done with this club here in the NPSL.
Ball through the middle, cut out. Aima has the ball on his left, fakes to the right, tried to play it through to Carilli, and McGrain gobbles that one up.
It's a quick start there for McGrain too with his throw out to Turnbull there, and that's what you like to see, I think, as an AFC fan. After, not a clear-cut chance, but it was a dangerous moment for sure, and you want to get started there.
There's Matthews again with the ball on his right, cuts to it and couldn't get a shot off, had it knocked away, but there's a chance with a left foot, and that's over the bar. Eske.
Eske's up for the game once again.
Will Eske out on the right wing. Traveled inside to help out with Matthews. Nearly had the game's first goal. Here we're in the 9th minute.
As you said, we're only in the 9th minute, but there have been a few chances, not on target, but at least around the goal frame for AFC, and you definitely want to see that. It seems that the MO right now is just get that early goal, and then whether that's going to be hold the lead or continue to search for goals to hold that lead, it remains to be seen, but you got to get that first goal.
Playing out of the back, looking to get it up to Tyler Green on the near side for Toledo. That'll be a throw in for Ann Arbor.
That is one thing Toledo likes to do. I spoke with some of their staff and their commentator, Mason Lowry, and he mentioned to me that they really enjoy to try and play out back. Their coach, Colin Armstrong, has them drilled that way to try and play a good style of football with them in general.
Ogilvie played it out wide to Eske. Gains the box, crosses across the mouth of goal, and Montoya unable to redirect it. That came in hot.
I think that was good positioning there defensively from Nichols, who made sure he was not he was not behind Montoya. So Montoya still had a chance, but it's hard when it's coming through a couple defenders' legs and coming in so hot like that.
Toledo moves it up the far side. On the ground looking for Aima. Aima with the left foot, and that one cut out. That'll be a corner kick for Toledo here in the 10th minute, make it the 11th.
Bright start there for Aima as a central striker. He can drift a bit out wide as he's shown there, but as mentioned, he is a player that Toledo really would have liked to have all season. And now that they have him, though, the results are tipping their way in no small part due to his ability.
Ball sent in and headed wide. That was number 4, Aaron West, the Cincinnati Bearcat.
What's a big target there?
Yeah, good chance though for Toledo.
6'4", you get a header, close to a free header. There were men around him, but when you're running like that at 6'4", it's hard to keep track of them, no matter how big you are.
Ann Arbor plays it back to McGrain, who's been the main guy for the team this year in goal. University of South Carolina graduate.
Coming into the season, goalkeeper was such a deep position here for AFC, and I think it says a lot about McGrain that he's been able to stake a claim to this position so well, as that was a mishit pass that ended up in Toledo's favor.
Toledo with the ball. That Roof cut that one out. Ogilvy in the middle. Nice ball to Montoya. Good ball movement for AFC Ann Arbor. Montoya cuts back to his left, hits the shot, and saved nicely by Jacob Kress.
Almost tried to use the element of surprise there. I don't think Kress was expecting him to hit that with his left foot like that, but he did well to put it on target and almost sneak it past him.
Oh, cut out in the middle. Now it's Brame. Ann Arbor needs a win to get into the postseason. Very simple, win and you're in. Ogilvy. Nice move by the veteran.
Not a bad turn at all. You see that at maybe some of the higher levels too, but Gary was able to shake free of that defender. He sees the pitch so well out of the midfield.
SK with options in the middle. Montoya couldn't quite get it. Matthews also had a shot at it. And Toledo will get another corner kick, or a goal kick.
Another good cross there from the right wing. Matthews, I think, will have hoped to get a better chance of that. He had a near free header right there, but Montoya also will be hoping to get more chances like that at the back post.
All headed forward, but right to the foot of Bream. And now another long ball looking for Montoya again. He's been active, chests it down, and unable to get there, and that's going to be a penalty kick. Kress took him out, and a penalty kick for AFC Ann Arbor here in the 14th minute.
Kress just came out a bit too hard there on Montoya. When you go out like that out of your box, you've got to come with a strategy. I think he did have a strategy, but Montoya was just a step quicker than him, as he is with so many other defenders, and he was able to draw that penalty there. And now AFC will hope to take the lead through Yazid Matthews.
Matthews has 4 goals on the season in 11 games. 10 of them starts in all competitions this year. Matthews steps up. Did it get in? No, it did not. What a save. A missed opportunity there for AFC Ann Arbor. I thought I couldn't quite see the angle if the ball was across the line, but no. Kress got enough of it to keep it out and then scrambled to make sure that no rebound got through.
At first glance, I thought that was going to hit both posts and stay out, but it almost did regardless. But
Ann Arbor, now Matthews and Montoya again on the other end of that Turnbull cross.
Offside flag up there.
That's a tough break for AFC Ann Arbor. Yazid Matthews. But a good save by Jacob Kress.
You know, it almost looked from this angle that Matthews might have found the little pocket of space between Kress's hand and the goal, and I thought he was going to be able to beat him regardless of Kress diving the right way, but alas, it was not meant to be, and AFC will be hoping to get another chance like that here as we head into 15 minutes played.
Well, they've been putting the pressure on here in the first 15 minutes. Kress clears it out.
I think it is interesting where you have 2 teams who can play out of possession like this, and Toledo likes to do that, but obviously AFC like to do that as well, as Turnbull's going to run through the midfield. It's a ball searching for Matthews. However, he will not be able to find him there.
Toledo had that corner kick, but really not much else in the Ann Arbor third of the field.
Something I did notice about that penalty is that Crest did escape without a card, which Toledo's coaching staff will surely be thankful for. Just a yellow even puts a little pressure on him, but a red would have obviously been disastrous.
There's Matthews, touches it forward. He's got a goal open. Can he get it? Yes, he can! Yazid Matthews makes up for it in the 17th minute. AFC Ann Arbor takes the lead in this must-win game.
Well, the penalties, sometimes you can psych yourself out. Maybe that's what happened with Matthews, but that goal, tougher angle, but Matthews is such a composed finisher that even a tough angle on his weaker foot is no match for the keeper there.
Matthews with his 5th goal of the year. The Coastal Carolina grad, one of the top scoring forwards in all of college soccer last year. In his senior season, went out with a bang at 13 goals in 15 games. His goals per game average was 5th in the country. And AFC Ann Arbor with the lead here in the 17th minute. And here's an opportunity there, nearly intercepted. As Ann Arbor putting on the pressure, not giving up. You know, they always say right after you score a goal, sometimes you can let up, and they don't seem to be wanting to do that. DeFreitas.
DeFreitas had that assist right there. He's been fantastic on the left wing all day, making good passes, a couple interceptions as well.
Oh, good positioning there, and we got a takedown by number 5, Aaron McCready. It's Shalbud who hit the deck. Back to Webster. Webster and Brame at the back.
Heck of a ball there from Brame to Ogilvy. Two of the more senior players linking up there.
Shalbud plays it back to DeFreitas. Plays it back to DeFreitas into the box. Left-footed cross into the middle and cleared out by Toledo. Montoya will get another crack at it. Shalbud. Oh, offside is the call.
Good movement on that bit of play right there, as well as mentioned just a minute or two ago that DeFreitas has been making some good runs on the left wing. His positional awareness is so good out of left back because he played as an attacking winger for Madonna in their run through the NAIA National Championships, where they made, I believe it was the national semifinals, if not the finals. But they made that Final Four, and he was a key part to that team. As Toledo finally getting some good build up here, but that's a good interception. Cut out and taken forward by
Matthews is ahead. Can he get there? Yes, he can. He's got the goalkeeper off his line. Takes a shot, saved. Kress was there. Boy. Didn't think they were going to play it to him that early, and they caught Kress, and I think that's probably what Kress thought, too. He's really...
Well, that's 3 times now that Kress has been caught out of his goal. One was for a penalty, one was for the goal, and one he needed a fantastic save right there to cover for himself. He's got to be smarter when it comes to coming out off his line like that, and we'll see if he adjusts as the game goes on. Likewise, we'll see if AFC continue to try and find those seeking balls like that.
Roof down to Shalbud. Shalbud in no rush, really. Well, ball taken away. Here's a chance for Toledo on the counter. Aima cuts back into the middle, knocked away, and AFC Ann Arbor recovers. I think instead of using his speed there, he tried to be a little too crafty and slowed himself up, and they were able to take care of it.
That was a heck of a tackle from Brame, too. If you weren't limited to just one nominee for those Conference 11s in the NPSL, I think he'd be a shoo-in as one of the center backs in that team. He's just been so strong all season, and especially last year where you had the likes of Stanley Okumu and Jack Cawley getting lots of the game time. Seeing Brame come in and absolutely dominate as a center back this season has been a welcome sight for whether it's longtime fans of the club who have seen him grow through the years, or those newer fans that have been enjoying the rise of, or rather the recent rejuvenation of Dwayne.
On the ground, Toledo trying to chip it forward for Aima. Knocked away. Tracking it down is Tyler Green. He's tripped up by Montoya.
Well, Montoya got called for the foul there, but he's really improved defensively. That's something I think I've mentioned probably every broadcast I've been on, but it really is worth repeating. That's one of the things coming into the season I think both he and the coaching staff knew that he had to improve in, and he's done well. And when he makes runs like that, if you've got a defensive wing or two, that's a heck of a player to have on your squad.
Let's see what he can do with it. He's on his right foot, plays it back to Shalbud, and not a great pass, and now they're going to have to reset things. Still got plenty of blue jerseys up in the attack. And that's going to be headed Toledo's way. And they throw it in. Webster heads it over to Roof. There's Turnbull. DeFreitas. In the middle for Ogilvy, plays it out wide again. Montoya, plenty of space on the left wing, cuts back inside and has it cleared out. But Ann Arbor controls with DeFreitas. Aima takes it away. And they give it right back. And back and forth they go. Here's Tyler Green. Webster steps in for the Mighty Oak. Here's Matthews. You got Ogilvy in front. He plays him down the left wing. Ogilvy's got plenty of space, and he plays it back to Shalbud with some help.
It's been a theme of the game so far with AFC. Lots of space in these positions, especially if you look at DeFreitas. Well, there's Montoya going down. That might be why he had so much space. But in general, there have been plenty of open areas for these AFC players to run through. As Jordan Montoya, he's been hobbled since getting taken down for the penalty. So he took a seat there. He'll be tended to by the training staff. And the hope will be, of course, that he's not out of the match too long and can come on. But if he does have to have a sub come on for him, you would figure that someone like Alex Alexis or one of the other more attacking-minded players would be the replacement.
We're in the 24th minute. AFC Ann Arbor with a 1-0 lead in this regular season finale against Toledo Villa FC. Josh Hackle and Ryan McCooch here with you, and it is all about winning this game. It doesn't matter how they do it. As long as they end up with more goals than the other team, they will be in the postseason.
So whether it's a 1-0, an 8-0, a 4-3,
we'll
doesn't
take it.
matter.
We'll take it.
A win is a win as far as this game goes.
Just need to get into the postseason, then we'll worry about all the scenarios and hosting situations and all that chaos. But for now, just get in.
Well, I made a prediction that was right. How many times does that commentator's jinx actually work out? Alex Alexis is in fact coming on for Jordan Montoya.
Definitely a good replacement. Another speedy winger. Scored the lone goal against Lansing United in the U.S. Open Cup game.
Lansing Ignite.
Or Ignite. Do you know how many times I've done that this year? Like 1,000,000 times.
It's getting used to period for sure.
I like United better. I don't think the Lansing folks will. But as a Lansing native, I feel like I can have an opinion about that. Ball headed forward, Aima. SK heads it out, and it's going to be a 50-50 ball on the sideline. It'll be Toledo ball.
It's good near control from Turnbull almost to get that. Tough position, tough ball to get to, but had some good positioning there.
Get it into Aaron West, big center back. get a sense of their formation. It seems like they have 3 men at the back more often than not. They drift forward quite a bit. And get Tyler Green, I think, is definitely in the midfield. He can play a wing back for this team and step back if they need him to. But Cale Nichols, Aaron McCready, Aaron West, Hunter Gibbons out there on the left side.
It almost looks like sort of a hybrid 3-5-2 almost. Nichols, I've seen him, whether it's in possession or trying to get back, he's almost dropping into like a right center back role with Green. Like you said, he can come back and play that right wing back. But in possession, it almost seems to be different as in defense. Whether that's because maybe they only have the 11 players and they're trying to expend some energy.
I'm sure that plays a role in their thinking today with just 11 players available to them today. You got to try to play cleaner. You know, you don't want to pick up any reckless cards. There's DeFreitas.
Definitely have to be smart about when you're going in for a tackle and when you're holding out.
Shalbert down to Alexis.
Which makes me wonder about Kress's early aggressiveness out of net even more, where, you know, if you pick up a foul or two there, like on that penalty,
or get sent off,
that could be bad.
Yeah, that would be really bad.
Alexis, that could be bad would be an understatement. I think that would be near disaster.
Yeah, because then you'd be your only goalkeeper. Matthews. Shot from distance, a little worm burner, ends up into the arms of Jacob Kress. I often, when teams, it was such a chaotic scene before trying to get all the starting lineup together and the rosters all set, that I often ask the team that is shorthanded, like, who is there, if they only have one goalkeeper, who's your emergency? And for their sake, I don't even want to know, because this is just a bad situation all around. If they have to go to a backup, it's going to be a field player, and they'll be shorthanded. So
absolutely, that's the key, because you can almost survive having to put an outfield player into net, especially if there's, say, 10-15 minutes. You just try and pack that line, and you keep a center back maybe real close. But if you're down 10 men, you lose your lone keeper, and you have to have an outfield player in there. There's no hiding him.
Long ball, McGrain tried to get it to Alexis, floated a little bit on him. Green was there to take it away, but here's AFC Ann Arbor. Alexis uses his speed to track it down on the sideline.
I wasn't sure if he'd get to that, but Alexis has bundles of pace, and he got there with relative ease.
Plays it to DeFreitas, into the middle for Shalbert. Roof thought about a shot, plays it out wide. SK on his right foot, knocked away, corner kick for the Mighty Oak. Like Ogilvy is going to take this one.
Well, James Vaughn getting some rest today, so Gary Ogilvy's going to be taking the corners. Interesting, too, because he offers that in-swinger from that corner there as well.
Looking for Matthews and cleared out by Toledo, but Ann Arbor keeps it in. Shalbert plays it out wide. Ogilvy crosses it, nobody there. Yeah, Vaughn, I would say some well-earned rest. He has been very busy all season long, really. One of the minutes leaders on the team, and
it's always rare when you have an NPSL side with a guy who can play so many minutes in a season like James Vaughn, simply because the roster fluctuation, and when you have a consistent presence in your midfield as well like that, it's done wonders for the side.
Alexis down the left wing's got space. Gains the box, goes left, and has it blocked out. That'll be, no?
They say it was off Alexis.
I think that is the call. So goal kick for Toledo. Yeah, Vaughn is one of 4 players to play in 13 games this year in all competitions for this club, and second on the team behind Brame in minutes played. There's 3 players on the team that have played 1,000 minutes this year, and that would be Brame, Vaughn, and Roof.
All three of them have seemed to be ever present in this lineup, and when you have other guys who have been making consistent appearances as well, like the likes of Stephen Turnbull and Yazid Matthews as well, it's always important to build this sort of chemistry.
We're approaching the 32nd minute. Ann Arbor with a 1-0 lead. A goal in the 17th minute by Yazid Matthews, and a penalty kick saved early. Could have been 2-0. Turnbull gets it back on the right wing. Matthews is in the middle. Alexis on the wing, and it's cut out by Toledo. Cleared by Sammy Conti.
Well, Toledo are doing well to get numbers back into the box to avoid that second goal. It seems clear that they know that AFC are dangerous when attacking on the wings.
That ball sent a little too far. McGrain's going to have no trouble with this one. Ian McGrain has started the last 11 league games, 6 shutouts. He's got a .64 goals against average.
Not too bad at all.
Yeah, he's going to make a good case for, I believe it was the Michigan Stars goalkeeper that ended up with the Conference 11 goalkeeper spot. And hard to argue with the defensive, and fans, things that go awry here, that we'll be rooting for the Michigan Stars. They're playing Grand Rapids tomorrow, but one game at a time. They do play a special brand of defensive soccer, that's for sure. Here's Zaima. Into the middle. Metz now plays it back. A lot of blue jerseys around, taken away by Roof, but won back by McCready. Turnbull clipped from behind. Nope, play on.
The ref has his flag up for offside, though. It looks like they might bring that back. Yeah, yes, they will. I always get a kick out of when the main referee doesn't notice one of the offsides. His assistant does, but they're just at such odd positioning that he doesn't notice it, and we see about 30 extra seconds of gameplay.
And Arbor puts it in play. Got Aima, Austin Combs, and Luke Carilli up top. It's like Austin Combs kind of playing in behind the strikers. That seems to be the approach they've got. DeFreitas on the ground, cut out. There's Combs. Nichols. Green plays it back to West. Long ball looking for Carilli. He's onside. He's got a chance here. Can he beat Webster? No, he can't. Knocked away. That'll be a corner kick for Toledo.
That was really calm defending there from Webster. No panic in him when there's a lofted ball over for Carilli. That was great positioning for him. I thought he'd be able to get a shot off almost right away, but maybe a little bit of a tough angle trying to turn around like that. And then once Webster had enough time to get into position there, he was able to get that out for a corner, and AFC can regroup.
Sammy Conti to take this one. Indiana Wesleyan product. With his left foot, plays can play in the defense or in the midfield. Headed away by AFC Ann Arbor. It falls to Metz, and that's knocked away. Toledo still with it. Finding Conti. Cross with a left foot, headed up. That was Roof getting a piece of that one, and Mighty Oak get clear of that mess, and they play it up to Alexis. Over, that's those poor ball kids.
I think that might be a job for one of our interns, an unfortunate job for one of them.
Or the state police if they're out there on the highway.
I think that's Connor who's gonna have to hop the fence. Shout out to Connor. We'll follow that storyline as it goes along.
Right. Yeah, there are teams that have some obstacles on their sidelines that I've experienced. That is not the worst. And here's a nice run by SK, cleared out by Nichols, and that'll be a throw-in for Ann Arbor on the near side. I think in the Metropolitan Oval in, I think it's on the border. It's in Queens in New York. They have a train track running about where that ball landed in relation to this field. Really close to the field. It's a very strange situation to have a train going by your field that close to where the field of play is, but it's a historic field, and Matthews has it cut out. Combs looks to start a counterattack, but Roof had other ideas. Alexis got defenders all around him, and he played it to one of them. Aima unable to control that. Shalbud tracks it down.
That's a heck of a move there. Almost skip past him, quite literally.
Through to SK in the box. Goalkeeper comes out. Shot is wide. Boy, an aggressive play by Jacob Kress coming off his line. Not sure he really needed to in that case. I mean, it was a dangerous situation. It's nice to cut off the angle, but there were defenders in the neighborhood.
Exactly my thoughts. I think what was going through his head, if I had to speculate, was that, like you said, he wanted to try and cut off that angle. But he had a handful of defenders there in the box for him, ready to step up to SK. Maybe he just wanted to do it himself, make sure there would be no additional danger for him. But it did work out in the end, at least.
Gotta trust your back line. Alexis battling for the ball, falls to Combs. Loose ball falls to Alexis.
AFC have been able, almost in basketball terms, to full court press this Toledo team, where when you're going through growing pains as a first-year team in the NPSL and you want to play on the ground like Toledo do, teams like an AFC will be able to try and capitalize on that with this frantic sort of press, and it's impressive. It stems from the midfield, and these attackers are able to get up and attack as well.
Here's Tyler Green, headed back in by Webster. That'll be Toledo throw on the near side. 38th minute. Ann Arbor with a 1-0 lead, and the 5th goal of the year by Yazid Matthews.
That ties him for the team lead in goals, I believe.
Yeah, with Montoya. Matthews and Montoya on top. Read my mind there and realized I hadn't checked. And spread out offense as Austin Combs has it tackled away, but it falls to Carilli. Got it trapped under his feet. And then it's mosh pit soccer for a minute, and there's a shot from distance, and it goes well wide. That was Sammy Conti with the shot.
That's good defending right there. You got numbers in front of the ball to make sure that there will not be a shot on target. And that's what you did there. You can take those shots from distance like that, and if they go wide like that, that's totally all right with AFC.
Grain puts it in play on the near side. That's Turnbull, gets tripped up. Is there a whistle? If there was, I didn't hear it, but apparently there was.
Nice shielding there from Turnbull to earn himself that foul. That's a veteran defensive play right there.
Back to McGrain. McGrain from Kingston, Pennsylvania. To Jake Roof. Plays it up on the right side. Ogilvy. Good ball movement here from AFC Ann Arbor. SK looking to use his speed. Can he get through 2 defenders? Yes, he can, and now he's in the middle. Left side, Alexis. Fakes the shot, goes right, and hits it wide. Might have taken a deflection there, I thought, but they're going to say a goal kick.
Real good footwork in the box there from Alexis. His favorite foot is that right foot, and he did well to get the ball onto his right foot there, even through a defender or two. He was able to get a shot off. It's tight spacing, but he has some of the best footwork in those tight spaces on the team for my money.
All played it back to Kress. West has SK all over him. I think you have to imagine, we were talking about the full court press approach, and when you have a team that doesn't have anybody on the bench, you can afford, we got plenty of subs to go around in the second half, so might as well run yourself ragged in the first half and try to create something.
Exactly. If you know that you have 4 or 5 guys that you are totally okay with coming in off the bench in the second half, then you can definitely maybe press harder, and if you pick up a yellow card or two, that's all right. You got a natural sub waiting for you on the bench.
Sammy Conte to take this free kick near the far sideline, and we got a boo-boo that needs to be tended to in the 41st minute. Yeah, players on the bench for AFC Ann Arbor today. Of course, Alexis came off the bench. Jared Doss is available, so good offense there. Obviously, James Vaughn could be used as well. Breno as well. You could use him in the back if you need to, or stepping up in midfield. Abdou Samake from the University of Michigan available. And Bryce Nicholson round out benches. Ball played in, headed out to the sideline. Toledo still with it, but Alexis there to take it away and wins the ball, but gives it right back. That one's cut out. That one's going to end up near the sideline. Alexis saves it. I thought that was for sure going out.
And he's going to make the run right there.
Boy, coming off the bench and giving him a spark. Yeah, when everybody's here, you have a player like Jack Hallahan's not with the team right now, and Sebastian Schalbud and Jared Doss and Alexis and Matthews, and they've got a lot of depth and a lot of options for goal scoring. They've had a solid defense. It's really all about the midfield controlling things. Been kind of the key for AFC Ann Arbor's success this year.
Exactly. When you have two Ironmen in Roof and Vaughn, you're able to sort of mix and match with the rest.
Into the middle, Ogilvy had it knocked away. That was Green, I believe, tracking all the way back to help out. That'll be a corner kick for AFC Ann Arbor in the 43rd minute.
I think before that corner kick as well, I think Hunter Gibbons, the player who had to come off real quick, is going to come back on and try and defend here.
Comes the corner kick. Headed right back into the fray and cleared by Toledo, right back to Alexis. SK on his right foot. Oh, lost it. But Ann Arbor controls. Schalbut. Down the sideline. Roof. You have a cross in him. He's got a corner kick coming.
Those 1-2s on the right wing, or the left wing for that matter, are there. But what I've noticed is that the 1-2s are there on the right wing, but on that left wing, those longer balls out to Alexis or Montoya when he was in the game have been more of the fancy of AFC. That was pretty close from Roof. He had some space to shoot there, and he decided to test his luck.
Might as well keep putting the pressure on. Didn't mention this is the second meeting between these two teams. Last time they met was back on June 14th. It was a 4-1 win for AFC Ann Arbor. Ben Thornton, Will SK, Yazid Matthews, and Amadou Cisse scoring goals in that one. I think Matthews assisted on the SK goal, and if you subscribe to the whole 2 points for a goal, 1 point for an assist, he is the leading scorer for AFC Ann Arbor because of that. 5 goals and 1 assist on the season. '45th minute. We're approaching the home stretch of the first half. Still holding on to a 1-0 lead. The chances have been there for AFC Ann Arbor. Could be more than a 1-0 game, but Toledo's defense is held strong for the most part. Turnbull on the right wing. Nice ball by Ogilvy to send it out there. Shot deflected, but falls right to Jacob Kress.
It was a fantastic ball there, though, like you said, from Ogilvy. That move doesn't happen without him. And it's just that, that veteran wherewithal to really see that space that you have, whether it's on the right wing or on the left wing. Yeah, it takes some experience. You've got to recognize, okay, if the defense is set up like this, I can pass it here because there will be space, and that's what he did right there.
Brame wins the ball on the wing, but gets it taken away. Aima into the middle for Combs, coming off his line and making the save on his backside is Ian McCrane.
That is a superb save from McCrane right there. I wasn't sure if he'd be able to get down in time, but he did brilliantly to do so there.
Oh, Alexis taken down, and no play on.
Alexis was taken down there, but that was great for McGrain, too, to immediately throw it to the opposite side that the move was started on. That's something that, if you're a goalie, that's something that you have to almost learn intangibly, and he's able to get a counter started right there, and that might have been a harsh tackle as well on Alexis. This looked like he came up holding his leg a little bit.
Aaron West will bring it up for Toledo. We're in stoppage time in the first half. And a whistle, they'll bring it back for a free kick.
Well, maybe a tug of the shirt or the kick to the heel there from Ruth. This is a real important first half. You wanna control the game here. You wanna get into halftime. You wanna have the lead, set you up with an important second half of just doing the job, keeping that lead, and then ideally expanding on it.
I have to think that if you were Toledo playing with 11 guys, if you come into halftime with a 1-0 game, although Matthews might have something to say about that as the goalkeeper comes all the way out and gets taken out by Matthews. Oh, and he's shaken up. Boy, that's a questionable decision for Jacob Kress.
That's another aggressive play out there from Kress. I mean, he's going to do well to get Matthews carded there, but I really question that because you really didn't have to come out there, I don't think.
No, I think your defense seemed to have it under control. But he was way out on the sideline, and luckily he seems okay. He's kind of shaken off whatever it was that he got on that tackle. A yellow card to Yazid Matthews on the tackle. It didn't seem, I mean, it was a rough tackle, but
I think it looked worse because it was on the keeper, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think the referee was a little more harsh in his punishment.
well, he was pretty far out, so what they say, if you're outside your box, then good luck. Matthews, Alexis on his left. He's got SK to the right, plays it to him. SK tackled away nicely by Aaron McGreedy. And that's the end of the first half. AFC Ann Arbor on a 17th minute goal by Yazid Matthews. And a safe penalty kick earlier by Jacob Kress on Matthews. So Matthews makes up for it, takes AFC Ann Arbor into the halftime break with a 1-0 lead. Josh Hackle and Ryan McCooch here with you, and we will take a break with them and come back as AFC Ann Arbor needs a win to get into the playoffs, and they're off to a good start so far. Second half coming up from Cardinal Stadium here in Ann Arbor. Welcome back to Cardinal Stadium here in Ann Arbor as AFC Ann Arbor getting ready to kick off the second half against Toledo Villa FC. Josh Hackle and Ryan McCooch here with you, and it is win and you're in. And that is the playoff scenario that we're focusing on for AFC Ann Arbor today. A win will get them into the postseason here in this regular season finale at Concordia University Ann Arbor. And only 11 players available for Toledo Villa today, so no changes for them as SK makes a run down the right side, plays it into the middle, and cut out by Villa.
The Harrisburg connection working wonders yet again from Brame to SK. That was a fantastic run down the right wing from Will and ended in a half chance, we can say.
Well, it looks like they're pretty much the same 11 out there for AFC Ann Arbor. We'll get to those momentarily, but Ryan, what do you expect here in the second half with a 1-0 lead? It's certainly, you know, one bounce of the ball and this game is tied, so you can't rest on your laurels too much, but they're up 1-0 and they need this win. What do you expect them to do?
Absolutely. I think that AFC are going to continue to push forward for at least another goal or two. You can't just set back and say, all right, it's 1-0, that this is good enough. That's just not how it's going to work. And there is a Toledo man down right now.
Aaron McCready is down, and he is punching the ground level in pain. So he is, which is not a good sign for a team, as I just mentioned, only has 11 players here with them today. So that's not the way you want to go down a man. Although he appears to be up, so it's gonna have to come off for a moment. AFC Ann Arbor will get ready for this free kick on the near side in the 47th minute.
McCready is a tough player who can play in the midfield or defensively. He's from Ireland. He will be transferring to Tiffin College, where Colin Armstrong, the head coach for Toledo, is a women's assistant.
Crossing it into the box, headed out, but Brame was there on the backside, but it was out of his reach. It's like Brame wants to take it quickly. Well, I thought he was going to take it. He's just going to put it down nicely for Ogilvie, who's going to come out there. So, yeah, once we get this corner kick, we'll recap the starting 11 for both teams. Only one change, of course, with the Alex Alexis came in the first half to replace Jordan Montoya. They sent it to the far post. Brame again was there, and did he win a corner? No, he didn't. So for the visitors from Toledo Villa FC, Jacob Kress, who's made some nice saves, been a little bit aggressive, sometimes a little too aggressive. He actually got called for a penalty kick in the first half, but they were not able to score. Yazid Matthews unable to make it. I think it was Kress that got a piece of it. It went off the post and then almost went in.
I believe you're right.
And so it was so Jacob Kress in there, Cale Nichols, Aaron McCready, Aaron West, and Hunter Gibbons playing in the back line. We mentioned it's not a fluid, we'll say a fluid back line situation, depending on if they have the ball or not. But Tyler Green on the right wing, Sammy Conte in the middle, Drew Metz also in midfield. Austin Combs seemed to be playing a little bit in behind the front line of Luke Carilli and Amunde Aima, one of their top goal scorers. For AFC Ann Arbor, Ian McGrain in goal, Marlon DeFreitas left back, Stephen Turnbull right back, Matt Brame, Johan Webster in the middle of the defense. In midfield, Andres Schalbed, Jake Roof, and Gary Ogilvie. And up top, Alex Alexis, Yazid Matthews, and Will Eske, with Yazid playing in the middle. Big target forward. He really could. That's exactly what you expect. A big lumbering, but he's athletic and he can move. But he can play, he can post you up if he needs to.
Definitely. He's a strong presence up top. He has some quickness as well, as you can see. There's a reason that those floated balls or those long balls work so well to Yazid, and it's not just because of the strength. It is because he has his good quick first step as well.
Here's Brame tracking the ball down on the near side.
Also, just talking about Toledo, like we mentioned, it's a bit fluid. It looks like that Tyler Green has dropped more to a right back position, and McCready is almost, I think he might be holding a little bit. It looks like he might have dropped back into the back line, though. So, like you said, I spoke, though, with Toledo, and they mentioned that it's almost two different banks of five. 5 get forward, 5 get back. those 5 that are getting back had to make a good defensive play right there.
Yeah, that was SK making the run through the middle. It was cut out by, that was Hunter Gibbons. Here's Cale Nichols. Ball taken away. SK leaves it for Brame, and maybe Brame is going to just pick it up and run with it, but Alexis on the wing. They're just trying to kick and run, and it nearly worked. Now he comes back. SK wide open in the middle, takes a shot. What a save. Rebound to Matthews, and he skies it. Wow, I put it over the fence and then some. Nearly out to the street. Jacob Kress, what a save.
Heck of a save right there. SK, just unfortunate maybe not to shoot it a little to the left or a little more to the right of him there. Just a bit too straight almost, but he really hit that with some heat right there. I thought, regardless of where it'd be placed, that might end up in the back of the net, but credit to Kress there with a good stop.
And plenty of space. I don't think you could ask for a better spot. Just right there at the top of the box. Acres of space, and just missed it. There's like AFC Ann Arbor likes scoring goals. Bank of Ann Arbor loves to help. Returning as the title sponsor for the 3rd year, Bank of Ann Arbor is a proud supporter and the official bank of AFC Ann Arbor. Free kick on the near side. Aaron West puts it back in play.
And Josh, just a brief thing to note as well. I believe McCready went off for perhaps for that nagging injury. Toledo is down to 10 men right now, and if McCready's not able to come back onto the pitch, they'll be down to 10 for the rest of the match.
Yeah, I saw him come down to the sideline. I wasn't sure if he was just getting a quick drink or if he's getting some treatment. He's kind of out of sight at this moment from where we are. We'll keep an eye out for that sideline to see if it comes back. But as of right now, Toledo, the men in red, playing with 10.
And that's so huge because there's a reason you penalize a team with a red card and force them to play with a man down, because it exerts so much energy on the rest of your players, especially when you have a defender and you have a team like AFC who are going to be looking for another goal or two. It's going to take so much out of your whole team in general. That's a heck of a ball.
Nice ball to Aima. He's got a chance here, pulls it back. He's got Corelli to his right, keeps it himself. Well, he's just run out of options there. I think just playing him, not sure exactly, a little indecisive, I guess you could call that. Because didn't know he really could have just taken him on right off the bat. Probably would have had more space, but allowed the defense to close.
It's almost like a bit of a hockey metaphor here, but those New Jersey Devils teams that were so good and Martin Brodeur got so many saves, that's kind of what AFC can do, where they force you into just poor positioning. And it doesn't matter if you're going to get a shot off, because it's either going to be not on target or right at Ian McGrain. It's a dated reference there, mid-90s hockey.
I know.
Don't think people were expecting that from the 20-year-old soccer commentator, but here we are.
I made a reference to Michigan baseball in the late 80s with Jim Abbott it came up because the baseball game was on, and
right.
And it turns out my color commentator not only knew Jim Abbott but drove him to spring training when he got drafted. And I was like, that was a story I didn't see coming.
Heck of a story there.
Like to mix it in with your soccer commentary. So you had road trips with Jim Abbott stories. It was fantastic.
All sports here.
54th minute, AFC Ann Arbor with the lead, and Toledo playing with 10 men due to injury. It's McCready came off, Aaron McCready.
Look at that anticipation there from Brame. He's able to see the pass and then act on it immediately, and then he's going to get forward.
He's going to join the attack. There's Matthews on the left side, stops, runs into another defender. He's going to need some help. And he's not going to get it.
Thought he might lay that off for Alexis. It looked like he was going to
He was trying to, right. And there's who was that down? That is...
I think that's Shalbad, and I think that hit him in the place that no male wants to be hit.
No. Yeah, he's not a happy camper. I can't confirm this completely. I think the trainer may have just shrugged, like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm going to go out there and try to help, but I don't really know what to do. So 55th minute here, AFC Ann Arbor with a 1-0 lead in a game they must win to get into the postseason. Whereas if they don't win, then you're going to have to watch. Everybody's going to triple the viewings of the Grand Rapids FC Michigan Stars game. There's going to be a lot of Ann Arbor viewers if this doesn't go the right way. But so far, so good with Yazid Matthews scoring in the 17th minute. Yeah, still no sign of Toledo Villa's 11th player, Aaron McReady. As I mentioned before the game, Luke Carilli was added to the roster just before kickoff. It was a bit of a drama show here as they were trying to get that taken care of. Got him on the roster, got it all set, and they had a nice full 11 to play with, but no one on the bench. So fans who come out to AFC Ann Arbor home games can stop by the club's beer stand where they are serving beer from North Peak Brewing and also wine. Available to fans 21 years or older, North Peak Brewing is the official brewery of AFC Ann Arbor, and hopefully we'll have more games to go. Like there's a lot of scenarios and playoff implications going on. Other games going on. Is it possible to maybe get a Cliff Notes version of what we have to look forward to? What are the chances AFC Ann Arbor could host a playoff game? To start there.
AFC. In the most simple of terms, there are some more convoluted manners, and these formats do assume that, or at least some of them do assume that Duluth would win. However, the primary result, or the primary game takes place today, almost immediately after the conclusion of this game. It's Minneapolis City and Med City. Any point, a point or a full 3 from Minneapolis automatically sends AFC to Duluth, provided that Duluth win their match. From there, let's say Med City wins, things get a bit more complicated because that secures Med City's playoff position. But then you also have Detroit and Kalamazoo, Cleveland and Buffalo, and Rochester and Erie. So if you want AFC to host, you need both Detroit and Cleveland to win. And then you also need Erie to either beat Rochester or draw with Rochester. The reverse of that means that AFC will head out to Rochester. And then any drop of points from Detroit or Cleveland, and regardless of that Rochester-Erie result, you're heading to Med City.
So travel possible, likely even, but
yes.
But still a lot to happen. There's a cross right into the middle and a goal for Alexis. Beautiful pass, and Alexis couldn't miss from there.
Unbelievable ball in there, sent well through and low by Matthews to Alexis. And Alexis is just making that run into the box. That's something that whenever I speak to players, they always tell me Eric Rudlin drills that into their heads. You got to make runs into the box in order for there to be a play. And that's something that's so essential to this AFC side. And Alex Alexis was there with an absolutely smoked finish. He probably didn't even need to hit it as hard as he did, but you might as well do it. When it's a goal of that importance, you gotta finish, and that's what he did.
Well, the last time these two teams met, Yazid Matthews had a goal and an assist, and in the first 2 goals of this game, he has a goal and an assist.
Well, the Toledo players were unhappy about something, perhaps an offside on Matthews. However, they are going to shrug. The 2 referees are going to shrug that off, and it's going to be ruled as a goal.
I don't know what they're still having a discussion with the referee.
I believe it was for the offside because SK realized he was in an offside position, and then he let Yazid run through for that ball. So I believe they're arguing that SK interfered with play there, and because he was offside and the Toledo players had to defend him, that should not count.
Well, I'm going to spoil the ending. They're not going to win the argument. So it is the 60th minute, AFC Ann Arbor with a 2-0 lead over Toledo Villa, who at last count, unless he snuck on. No, there's.
Yeah,
Oh no,
I believe he's back.
Oh, he is back. Okay, there he is. So they're back to 11. Oh, and ball nearly taken away. Ogilvy putting on the pressure and nearly forced a disaster from Toledo. There's Alexis, lost the ball under his feet, and Austin Combs comes away with it.
My view on that offside shot there, as I'll hold for that,
Here's
as Alexis takes a run through.
There's a chance through and cut out by Toledo, and they play it out wide.
I think SK stopped his run in plenty of time for the Toledo players to pick up the Matthews run, and he may have been off, but he didn't make a true play for the ball, but that's a good ball there from Toledo.
Conte into the middle, cleared out by Ann Arbor, and they're just going to play this one into safety.
And going there, we've got here for sit on the left end, grandstand for a 3-year coaching and Northeast Rural for 2 different lines. Must be 21 up. And remember,
All played on the ground on the wing with Drew Metz. Back to Aaron West. Chipped through, then the flag is up. So Alex Alexis scores his second goal in all competitions, his first league goal, his first one coming in the Open Cup game against Lansing Ignite.
Not a bad time to
Yeah, you
get your first league goal.
bookend the season, really. I mean, there was it's a good way to score. You obviously like to get more goals, but it was the second. I think that was the second game of the year for AFC Ann Arbor. There's SK. Can he get it over the keeper? No, he can't. Kress comes off his line and makes the stop.
Right there, we were maybe giving him a bit of criticism there for coming off his line, but credit where credit's due. That's a great decision to come off your line. That's a tough angle for SK to try and finish, and it becomes even tougher when you have the keeper coming off your line like that, and he made a good save there for the corner.
62nd minute, Ogilvy will take this corner kick. Left-footed ball and nobody there. Like Brame will bring it down. Just about 3 players back for Ann Arbor, not taking any chances on the corner kick.
No need to push numbers forward, especially with the importance of this game. You got a half hour left plus whatever injury time is added. Make sure you're clean in defense with your corners. You don't want to give up a counter.
Ball into Alexis. Alexis drifts into the middle, now Ogilvy. Turnbull finds SK. A couple defenders, gets it back, and again, Kress is there.
Just a touch too heavy there maybe on the pass from Matthews to SK, but that's a good good claim there from Kress.
Aima got the ball down to Carilli. That one knocked out for a throw in for Toledo. And we got a substitution coming in. Breno Stepsinskis is coming into the ball game. We'll just call him Breno because we like it better. He is going to check in for
I think it's Marlone coming on. That'll probably be a like-for-like swap with Breno coming in for left back.
Breno from Madonna, Brazilian, came off the bench against Detroit City in the last game. His 8th appearance of the year.
I was going to say, I think we saw this same exact sub, the Brazilian Madonna player for Brazilian Madonna player against Detroit. Deja vu here. Breno's first action is going to be throwing here. He does so well to get forward into the box there, and I believe he's played all 3 positions in defense in his time with the club. He's a returning player. He can play left back, obviously, right back, and he's filled in at center back as well.
Versatility is key, especially at the next level too. If you want to earn a job, you can do just about anything. You're going to find yourself some minutes. Schalbud plays it to SK. SK, nice move, gets it to the left side. Matthews hits it just wide. That was a great move by SK to get into the box and create that play.
That's a heck of a play there from SK. The 1-2 worked out almost to perfection right there from Matthews. And Matthews has got to be thinking, what am I got to do to find this brace for myself? That was almost picture perfect, just a hair wide.
Aima played it up to Carilli, tried to play it back to Aima, and cleared out by the back line for AFC Ann Arbor.
That's a vital touch from Webster to get that left foot out and play it almost up to himself and then right out to the wing, and now you can build out from back.
Grain plays it long, it falls right to Cale Nichols, and now Turnbull brings it down. Switches to Breno on the wing. He's going to keep carrying. Ogilvy to Alexis. Battling with Tyler Green out on the wing. Green wins the battle and sends it out of bounds. 66th minute, AFC Ann Arbor with a 2-0 lead in a game they must have to get into the postseason. The two-time defending Great Lakes Division champions. They won't be champions this year, but to get into the playoffs, anything can happen once you get into the postseason. Iama giving chase. Breno knocks it out.
Well, assuming the result holds and AFC get into the postseason, they'll be playing that midweek game. And you've seen teams in that midweek game be able to get to the regional final. You saw it with Duluth last year at the expense of this AFC team. So that's not going to be a handicap. And like you said, anything can happen. Good teams have been beaten before. You can look at that NPSL West where you saw FC Golden State, who had a great run through the regular season. They came up short in the postseason.
Ogilvy gives it off to Matthews, and Matthews has Turnbull running on the near side, gets it to him. Looking for help, and he finds it in Roof.
It's a bit muted over the drums, but you can hear some good chatter there on the pitch from the players. They're anticipating good moves, and here from this commentary booth you can see which players have pockets of space and whatnot, but the players were recognizing it just as well too, and it's always impressive.
Another change coming. Jared Doss gonna come into the ball game, replace. Oh, look at that! We got a board.
He showed us the board as well.
I know. I'm impressed.
Thank you to the fourth official for that. Well, Will Eske is going to be coming off. Again, probably another like-for-like sub. Will had been manning the right wing and cutting inside with the devastating effectiveness that he has had all this season.
Doss comes into the game. 3 goals, 2 assists in 13 games. This is his 14th appearance in all competitions.
Doss is a fantastic player. One of those players that could certainly start in rotation as well. But I think this team manned by Eric Rudlin really likes him as that impact sub. And I do as well. I think he's a perfect sort of player that, of course, he can start and put in a good shift for 90 minutes. But if he comes on for 20-25 minutes, then he'll be a fantastic addition to any roster for where you have a defense with tired legs, as you have this Toledo side.
Chance for Ann Arbor, moving it up. That's Ogilvy. Carries near the box, takes a shot, and hits it over the bar. 69th minute. Still a 2-goal lead.
Thought Gary might play Doss there on that right wing. He had him in sort of a lateral pass, but if I had to put myself in Ogilvy's shoes, he probably thought that lateral pass is probably just about the same as if he tried his luck from distance.
Intercepted, but given right back. It's McCready playing it long out to their speedy forward, Mundy Aima. That'll be a goal kick for AFC Ann Arbor. Yeah, Monday, Aima is playing at Bowling Green State University. Speedy would miss the first, well, about 2/3 of the season, really, and they started to play well down the stretch. They played Kalamazoo and lost a narrow 1-0 decision there, but prior to that game had won 2 of 3. Things were starting to look up for Toledo as, you try to finish the season strong, but today with 11 men playing on the road against a very good Ann Arbor team, it's a tall task. And the fact they're only down 2-0 says something about them right there, because Ann Arbor has put some crooked numbers up on better teams with full benches.
Absolutely.
'71st minute, Toledo with the ball at the back. Aaron West plays it on the ground. Here's Conti.
You're still seeing some good crisp passes from this Toledo team. The footballing lines haven't entirely gone with the fatigue, and neither has the speed, as Nichols is making a good run from left back.
Nichols has it knocked away by Turnbull, and another sub coming, and more time for us to enjoy this fancy sub board here. 10 coming off. Yazid Matthews checks out. A goal and an assist for Matthews. And Amadou Cisse comes into the game, another Madonna player.
Another impact sub as well. He's one of those guys that really has been able to make a difference when he comes into the games. The best example of that was the home opener against Kalamazoo when he came off the pitch and scored a very dramatic goal.
Well, you could argue that they wouldn't be in the position they're in without that. They would have dropped all 3 points at home, which was rare in and of itself, but a game they dominated. And it was, I think everybody kind of hung their head at that point, and then Cisse to the rescue late in that one.
Huge, huge goal there, and especially with the narrow margins right now in this playoff push. If AFC do find themselves in that 16 Midwest Regional, they'll be thankful for Cisse's contribution on that afternoon.
Ball played in, right into the arms of Ian McRain. Cisse's been all over the place too. Well traveled, played with AFC Ann Arbor in 2015, then played with Kalamazoo in 2016. That cross cut out. That'll be a corner kick for Toledo. Then he came back to AFC Ann Arbor in 2017, then went out, played for the Michigan Bucks, or now the Flint City Bucks, in 2018, and now back home again. It's great to have him back. The WAC Offensive Player of the Year. 11 goals and 12 assists in his senior year.
He's a high-quality attacker, does a lot on the pitch, and does pretty much everything well. Toledo has some height here on these corner kicks, and it'll be interesting to see if they can use it to their advantage.
Cross in, headed out. And there's an opportunity for AFC Ann Arbor. Kick and run here for Cisse. And at midfield, Jacob Kress, who has come off his line quite a bit in this game. That would be a new record for him. Almost 60 yards off your line. I'd say you are an aggressive goalkeeper. Not quite, what was the Jorge Campos of the Chicago Fire Mexican national team fame, who would just take the ball and dribble up the field and just leave the goal by a little different. He's coming up just to make a defensive play. Cross to the far post all the way through. And to my knowledge, Jacob Kress doesn't design his own goalkeeper clothes either. So that is another
It'd be impressive
difference.
if Toledo let him.
Yeah. He's young. He still has career opportunities ahead of him. Ian McRain will tee this one up. And fans, be sure to download the all-new Jimmy John's Reward app and earn a free sandwich simply by downloading and placing your first order. Jimmy John's is a proud partner of AFC Ann Arbor.
I must say, I had a Frenchie from Jimmy John's for the first time yesterday, and it was fantastic.
You know, I have to get all these localized sandwiches that are coming through, and they always announce at Flint City Bucks games that there's like a Halo burger that's a Bucks burger, and they announce it in the middle of the game when I can't go get one. And I need interns is what I need.
Exactly. There really are some sponsoring opportunities there with AFC's Frenchie and the Jimmy John's Frenchie. I would love to see that, but alas, I don't know if we'll be so lucky.
My contract negotiation with Bilal next year to do games is that I get an intern that goes and gets me food. That should be what we do.
We've got another sub coming here. We will see James Vaughn here today for Gary Ogilvy.
Oh, solid game for Ogilvy today.
Ogilvy came off the bench a couple of games in a row, and I think Eric Rugland really liked what he brought in attack. Gary is not the most pacey player, but what he does bring is good runs, smart runs, and he can even play on that left wing. I think we've seen him a couple of times push forward in that attacking left wing role, and when you have a player like that where he might give up a little pace to a right back, you need to be smart. And Gary certainly is, and he put in a good 75 minutes of action here today.
Foul on Toledo, and we'll head back the other way for AFC Ann Arbor. This is the 14th game in all competitions for James Vaughn, so it's Roof, Vaughn, and SK, and Das. The only players to play 14 games this year for AFC Ann Arbor across all competitions, the Iron Men of the squad, if you will. 76th minute, soon to be the 77th minute. AFC Ann Arbor need a win today to get into the postseason. Things are looking pretty good so far, but still about 14 minutes and change to go. But with the, with playing with 11 guys, this is probably the part of the game where those legs you start to feel it a little bit, and you wish you had a sub or two to help you out to get back in this ball game.
You read my mind right there. It looked like one of their two center backs, I wasn't able to catch the number, but he was looking for Aima, and they were just not on the same page. It looked like just like a bit of a mental lapse. Aima was well covered. It wasn't particularly a good pass, and I'm thinking the legs might be going a little bit here for Toledo.
Das into Cisse, and a collision between Cisse and Kress. Again, Kress coming off his line as he's done all day. You like the aggressiveness, but all it takes is one of those to go wrong, and that's how goalkeepers are.
We did see a goal come that way where he came out a bit too far, and Yazid was able to finish in an empty net.
McCready plays it down to the near side with Aaron West. All deflected, and we get a break the other way. If Das can straighten himself out, and West is going to track him down and usher that one out of bounds.
There'll be a throw there for Toledo, but there another mental lapse as well. Toledo was playing AFC onside. Even if Das wanted to center Alex Alexis, he would have been onside, and you really don't want to see that if you're Toledo.
Shalbert to Alexis, takes a touch and took a shot. Kress again with another save. Made some really nice saves today.
Good reaction there. Just get your hands up, make sure that comes off your hands or off your chest, and keep it away. Keep it away from the goal mouth.
On the ground, that went out of bounds. Throw in for AFC Ann Arbor. In front of their bench. Abdu Samaki and Bryce Nicholson are the last two remaining field players.
I believe, adding a bit of insight on that as well, I believe Nicholson is not rostered. I believe he was added to the squad as a possible injury replacement just in case someone felt anything during warm-up. But I believe he is in fact out, and it will just be Abdu who is available.
Vaughn called offside here in the 79th minute.
The last 10 minutes of games like these are so important, where you just kind of got to grind away and be able to just finish. And that's what AFC need to do for their playoff lives here.
Combs plays it back to Kress. Near side for West, and Ann Arbor not letting him get anything free. That's Cisse getting the extra running in on the near side. He's coming off the bench. His legs are fresh. He can do
exactly.
that. That's what they want him out there for. And we got another sub coming, and there is Abdu Samake coming into the ball game.
He'll be on for Turnbull, so it'll be interesting to see what the substitution is because he's a natural center back. He played center back with Michigan. He filled in for an injured Daniel Makuna down the stretch for the Michigan Wolverines.
And if my numbers are correct, this is his first appearance of the year.
This is the second, I believe, because he came in against Grand Rapids. He came in for Ben Thornton, or he came in for Jared Doss when Ben Thornton got the red card. He was rostered that day, and he'd only played the Milk Cup game before then, and he stepped into the big lights, the bright lights, I should say, and he was able to play very well.
Vaughn on the near side to Alexis. Cuts back. Trying to keep possession, and they do. They get it to Cisse. Looking for Doss, and now Alexis brings it back to Roof. '81st minute, the home team up 2-0. There's Michigan Wolverine. And there's a ball through, and that ball's well done by Kress. Played the ball with his feet.
There again, though, I believe that was Hunter Gibbons. Gibbons played Cisse onside by a couple of steps, and I think the intention was for them to have a high line there. And if you're going to try and go with that route, you got to cut it. You got to make sure that you hold the line.
So Jake Roof will bring it up. The Western Michigan Bronco, playing in his 14th game of the year, leads the team in assists with 4. Also been a versatile player for this team out of midfield. And here's Shalbid with a shot, and that was well wide. That hit anybody on the way in, but it did not. So a goal kick for Toledo. Good crowd here on a Friday night, a beautiful day in Ann Arbor. It was about as, for me, it was the perfect weather.
Couldn't agree with you more.
I was cloudy early, but it was like warm, but a little coolish. You know, and then
there were some patches of sun. I was able to lay out on the diag.
And there's a ball through the middle on the wing now. Vaughn, what will he do with it? Takes left, comes back. Smaki. And that one cut out for Toledo.
I like that attempted cross, though, from Abdu. That's something that, when watching Michigan games, that's not something you really see from him because he's a center back. That's a fizzing shot from Vaughn there.
Great save by Kress again. He's got at least 7 saves today, I think, off the top of my head. Some of them very impressive. That ball knocked away by Breno and nearly got it up to Doss. And falls back to the back line with Hunter Gibbons.
Kress there waited till the last moment almost to get that kickoff. Cisse closed him down, and I don't know whether it was just the closing down or the odd angle of the kick, but Kress slipped over there.
Mets lost the ball. Smaki started things up with Shalbid up past midfield. He's got Cisse to his right. He plays it left side.
Here's where you're seeing the fatigue. AFC had numbers if they wanted them, and when you're down 2-0, that generally doesn't happen. And you kind of see it halfway at the 50-yard line of the American football field. You kind of see some players walking, jogging. I can't say I blame them if you're playing a full 90 minutes with no hope of a substitution against this AFC side.
Well, it helps also AFC Ann Arbor. They don't have to go full tilt either because they know their opponent's a little bit gassed at this point.
Exactly.
Some of the newer players certainly have enough Some fresh legs here, and there's Alexis. He's to his right, avoids the defense, takes the shot, and hits it wide. Bent it just a little wide of the post. It was the right decision, but he was so open, he really could have gone either side on that one.
That play was entirely born out of fatigue, I think, where you saw Conte just, I don't think he had the mental wherewithal to realize that he had a man on the left wing wide open in space by him. And then Alexis was able to get past, I believe those were 2 defenders right there, like they were nothing, as he does there again.
Another opportunity for AFC Ann Arbor. Das brings it to Alexis. Shalbert out wide. Breno joining the attack. Gets it back. Eludes one defender, but couldn't get past the second. Toledo brings it up. Nichols plays it long, looking for Drew Metz. Got one-on-one on the near side with plenty of space. He waits for help. And plays it all the way back. Wow, that was a lot of effort just to play a back pass. Metz plays it on the ground this time. Combs, can he get there? No, he can't. Nice tackle by Brame.
As the season's gone on, I think you've seen more and more anticipated slide tackles from Brame, which is incredible. And
oh, and we had, was he called offside? Yes, he was. But the play continued, and Kress, 30 yards out of his goal, Cisse thought he had an opportunity to touch it over him. And it gives him a fist bump, and we play on. Not a reciprocated one, but you know, he just got kicked in the face, it looked like, so maybe he's a little salty. 87th minute. AFC Ann Arbor looking to close the deal here. It would be, if things hold, another shutout for McGrain, who's had a really great season in goal for the Mighty Oak. It's a foul on the far side. Free kick for Toledo as Tyler Green is a little shaken up.
Well, as long as this result holds, the impressive thing about AFC making the playoffs this season would be that they've been in the NPSL for 4 seasons, and they would be making the playoffs in all 4 seasons, which is something that you really don't see. Even established teams.
In a division like this, too. Yeah,
absolutely. You have 2 bona fide contenders every single year in Detroit City and Grand Rapids. And then you always have those surprise teams. FC Columbus was one last season. Kalamazoo was really staking a claim to playoff spots early this season. It's always a tough year. Or it's always a tough division, excuse me, no matter which year it is.
Ann Arbor controls, plays it long, looking for Cisse.
The ball just bounced a bit high on him. If it stayed a little bit lower, he might have been able to one-touch it right to Alex Alexis.
Vaughn thought about a shot, held up. Played it back to Roof. Das on the wing. I think they're just content to bleed this one out. We're in the 89th minute. Roof will wander into the middle of the field. Vaughn plays it wide to Das. The shadows creep in here on Cardinal Stadium on the campus of Concordia University, Ann Arbor. It's been a great home for AFC Ann Arbor. A ball played by Roof, and nearly a goal for Schall, but he hit it just wide.
There'll be a corner, and I got a feel for Andres right there because he really deserved that. Because if you look in that build-up, you can see Andres check over both shoulders, make sure that he's free for that pass it to Vaughn, and then make a great run into the box. That's just great footballing awareness.
Shalbert has been a great addition to the team. Of course, obviously his brother as well, Sebastian, but did not play until he made his debut about midway through the season in that Milk Cup game against BIH Grand Rapids. scored a goal in that game, of course.
He's been a true revelation for this side. Him and Gary Ogilvy are two players who've played a bit more football than some of these other players have in their years. And they've been welcome additions for sure.
Yeah, for Shalbert, he has played in the last 5 games. He's coming off the bench in 4 of them. Well, this will be his 2nd start in that stretch. As we head into stoppage time here at Cardinal Stadium, AFC Ann Arbor with a 2-0 lead. There is a foul on the near side. Ann Arbor will get the free kick near midfield.
Not sure how many minutes of stoppage time we had. It looked like the 4th official might have held up a 2 or a 3. Oh, it's going on the board.
I love
2
it.
minutes.
Where did we get? Did they bring that themselves?
I think the club has had it. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that.
When's Bilal's birthday? Can someone get him one of those for his birthday to like use for the team? Or hey, maybe I should bring one. I feel like I would benefit more than anybody having the subs available.
We'll take it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So 2 minutes. 2 minutes almost seems to be a universal sign within the game of just we know there is stoppage time to be played, but we don't want to prolong this match any further. I distinctly remember there was Liverpool and I think it was Spartak Moscow. And it was like 6-0 or 7-0, and there were multiple subs, a couple injuries. And the refs just held up
goals too.
Plenty of goals, and the refs just held up 2 minutes. And I was almost annoyed about it because I just wanted the match to keep going. But you know, if it
you wanted to run the score up on poor Spartak Moscow.
I did. I really did. It was in Moscow. I figured might as well enjoy it. But if the result is seemingly in hand, like this one would appear to be with only a couple minutes of stoppage time left, if you can see out these minutes, then no need in prolonging the match.
Well, give Toledo credit. This is a team
Oh,
that showed up with
absolutely.
11 players, and it's 2-0 on the road. And I give credit to Jacob Kress too. Played really well in goal. It could have been a 4 or 5-0 game, but he made some really nice saves. Came off his line, sometimes recklessly, but it was he did enough to keep his team in the game. As that is the final whistle, and AFC Ann Arbor are playoff bound with a 2-0 win over Toledo Villa FC. Goals from Yazid Matthews and Alex Alexis. Yazid Matthews in the 17th minute by Marlon DeFreitas with the assist. In the 58th minute, it was a beautiful pass from the wing from Matthews to Alexis in the middle, who roofed it to make it 2-0, and the 7th shutout of the season for Ian McGrain as he continues to play well as Ann Arbor will head into the playoffs. And I don't know if we have time for all the scenarios and craziness. I guess I'm just going to tell you to tune into the AFC Ann Arbor social media accounts for updates on that, to find out where AFC Ann Arbor will be playing, where they might play, and who knows, maybe we'll be back here at Cardinal Stadium. You're gonna have to stay tuned. But Ryan, what are your takeaways from this match, and what can we look forward to? Remind us how likely or unlikely it is that we might see Ann Arbor back here in Ann Arbor in the playoffs.
For sure. Well, first and foremost about the match, a brilliant 3 points. That's what mattered. And 2-0, you would have maybe liked to see some more goals. However, you're not going to complain that much. But looking ahead to the postseason now, the most straightforward scenario is a Minneapolis City win or draw today, starting in 5 minutes against Med City FC.
Okay, so you're telling people who they need to tune into. So we have that game. We don't have to worry about Grand Rapids and Michigan Stars. Sorry,
Exactly.
Grand Rapids folks, that we're not going to be able to help out with your viewership numbers. But so it's the Duluth. We need to pay attention to out west with Minneapolis City to see if maybe we'll head to Duluth or not.
Absolutely. And then the easiest, most straightforward scenario for hosting is a Med City victory today, a Detroit City victory against Kalamazoo tomorrow, a Cleveland victory against Buffalo tomorrow, and then an Erie victory or draw against Rochester also tomorrow. And if all that happens, that would be a home match against Rochester. Now, mind you, that is also the most straightforward scenario. There are a couple more that would require Duluth to lose and Med City to take points or draw. I did not have that one diagrammed out in front of me.
So you're telling me it could get worse than that?
It could get worse than that, but at the most basic, we're looking at this Minneapolis Med City match immediately, and then from there, we may have to pay more attention to the matches tomorrow.
And that you said that's coming up like now, right?
It starts 7 Central Time, so
Okay.
I believe that's 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
All right, so there you go. Coming up in just a few minutes as we wrap up here. That's the next game to pay attention to. But what matters here is AFC Ann Arbor is going to the playoffs after a 2-0 win over Toledo Villa. AFC Ann Arbor improves to 9-2-3. They wrap up the regular season with a 9-win season. Toledo Villa falls to 2-11-1. A valiant effort for the team that only showed up with 11 players today. Next up, we'll find out who they'll play in the playoffs, but this could be the last broadcast of the season. Unless we host a playoff game, who knows? But if we don't, then it's been a pleasure being part of the 5th season of AFC Ann Arbor, the 4th season in the NPSL. Thanks for letting me and Ryan and the crew help you follow the Mighty Oak as they represent the great city of Ann Arbor. Follow them on social media. You're going to need it to get through all the playoff scenarios and find out where they will play. Just search for AFC Ann Arbor on your favorite social media platform. All of our broadcasts have been brought to you all season long by St. Joseph Mercy Health System, the official wellness partner of AFC Ann Arbor. To all of you watching from home or wherever you may be, thanks for tuning in. For our fantastic production team and Ryan McCooch, I'm Josh Hackala saying so long from Ann Arbor, and come on, you Mighty Oak.